Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. And today I proudly present a full in-depth review of this 2019 Mercedes-Benz S560 Cabriolet. It's got the OLED taillights as part of the facelift. So, it's the window sticker, suggested retail. And before I begin, I just want to extend a shout out and special thanks to Mercedes-Benz of St. Charles and the salesperson, Andrew Sofiakis, for letting me do this. Contact info will be in the description. So without further ado, let's get started. Here's what the key looks like. It's got lock, unlock, panic, and then trunk controls. So you just keep that in your pocket and just using the door handle here, grab on the back. It unlocks both the front doors. Not sure if you can see it, but also, as standard, if you just gently close the door will pull itself in. All right. Push the button here once for accessory power. Push it again to turn on the full ignition. And then to start, press on the brake, press the button to start. If you wanted to just turn it off, you press the button again without pressing the brake. You're going to go ahead and drop the lift. So, first off, let's start with the driver's display. With this controlled through this gesture control here. So right now it's on the center display. So there's your odometer, range to empty, eco display, distance from start, distance from reset, then your numerical speed readout if you didn't want to use the speedometer off to the left. You can also control what you see on the tachometer side. So tach, navigation, eco display, distance from start, tachometer with a G-force meter, and then back to your regular tachometer. So just take a break from the driver's display for a moment. This button here, as we all know, ventilated seats. You can also have ventilated and heated seats on simultaneously. So heated seats, air scarf. And then this button here allows you to control every aspect of the passenger seat, including heated and ventilated seats. So if I press that, now the ventilated seats are on. And also turn it down, turn it up. Move the seat forwards and backwards. And then cancel. So this button here, that's to extend the recliner. This button here is for the headrest. Move it up and down. This button back here, it's also a reclining feature. And the button right below it is to move it forwards and backwards. Very easy to get used to. 3-person memory. So hit this button and then set the seats, mirrors, everything, steering wheel to your liking, and then press the designated button to save. The buttons up here are as follows. So we got steering assist, lane keeping assist, and then this button here will extend the seatbelt retractor, so that way it's easier for you to put your seatbelt on. It also automatically does so shortly after closing the driver's door. The front two windows are fully automatic. The rear two are just automatic down. You also do have global close, so automatic down, global open, and then you have to hold up for global close. Then this button here, so this only works when you have the top down, but I'll demonstrate that later. It's got auto start stop. Turn that off through this toggle here. So drive modes are as follows. We're currently in comfort right now. Change it into eco, then comfort, sport, and then only the coupes and cabriolets and the AMG sedans have a Sport Plus. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if you manage to be lucky enough to have an AMG S-Class coupe or cabriolet, you get a race mode. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, let's just configure individual. So you can do that with either side, but I'm just going to go ahead and use the center control. It's easier for me. So you can adjust aspects like your drive, so from eco all the way to manual. So you can configure individual to be your full manual mode, where you use the paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. Suspension, so comfort, sport, same with the steering, and electronic stability program, which is your traction control. So I basically just set this up as Sport Plus with manual shifting. Okay, we're going to drop that back into comfort. We'll get back to the passenger side display later. For right now, I'm just going to leave it on the main menu. So back to the driver's display. If you hit the back button, which is also the home button, you can go between service information, drive assist, trip odometer, navigation, radio, media, phone, and display designs. So it's currently in classic right now, but if I switch it into sport, this is what it's going to look like. And also let's see, if I hit home, let's see, it also does, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it affects some of the right display as well. But anyway, so that's sport, then classic, and then progressive. So progressive is very futuristic and minimalistic. And then if we go back to sport, so in sport, one thing you'll notice is that whatever menu you've highlighted will be in yellow, whereas in classic and progressive it's going to be in blue. So the transmission is controlled through this lever here. It's the 9G Tronic. To put it in drive, put your foot on the brake and pull all the way down. You can also see what gear you're in. For neutral, you go halfway up if you're in forward. Reverse, all the way up. Here's your backup camera with dynamic guidance lines and multiple view options. Down halfway to go from reverse to neutral. And then for park, that's easy. You just press the button on the end. Also, the parking brake automatically applies whenever you put the car in park and then exit or turn the engine off. But it has to be in park for that to work. Otherwise, you'll have to do it manually. Then to cancel that, you can pull and hold the tab while either opening the door or turning the engine off. The car will also automatically go into park if you shut it off while it's in gear. Turn signal controls, high beams. Car does have automatic high beams as standard. SOS, so two-step procedure. You flip that flap open and press the red button, and then Mercedes Me Connect. So this toggle here turns off the door illumination, so whenever you open the door, the lights will come on, but it won't do that if you flip that toggle here. And that's the interior illumination override. Then that's for the rear interior illumination. Reading lamps. Garage door home link. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to the trip for a bit and just show you the outside of the car, what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead, turn on the lights, rear fog lights, as well as the hazards. I'm also going to go ahead and pop the hood. Found it. So now we're just going to go ahead and review the exterior. As standard, it's got full LED headlights. You can opt for Swarovski crystals. And of course you do get automatic high beams, as I mentioned earlier, and a fully adaptive LED headlights. Here's the cruise control sensor for the adaptive cruise control. Under the hood, we've got a 4-liter hot inside V-turbo configuration, bi-turbo V8. Good for a maximum horsepower output of 463. LED side turn signal mirrors. Continental Pro Contact GX SSR run flat tires. And the SSR it stands for self-supporting run flat. So here's a good look at the OLED taillights, very futuristic. And rear fog light off to the left. Power tailgate, as I mentioned. Then this button here is for if you had the top down. This button here closes it, and this is to close and lock. So if you were done putting groceries in or taking groceries out, you don't even have to bother with locking the car from your key or from the door. You could just do this. It's got a sports exhaust standard across the board for S-Class coupes and cabriolets. Emissions information. And then down here, you can pop that cover off, and that's where your tow hook is. And the S-Class coupes and cabriolets will have either 19 or 20-inch rims down here. So if somehow you got stranded and your battery was dead, you can use your emergency key that's located within the key fob. You just press this button and the emergency key pops out. You can use that to unlock the door and then pop the hood. Alright, so I'm going to turn off the lights. Panel dimmer. Mirror controls. So left, right, fold. then up, down, left, and right. It's got a Burmester audio system standard. Very nice, very clear. So, cruise controls. That's to turn the system on. There's an indicator down to the right of the fuel gauge. Set. So I've explained this in many other videos. It's down 1 or up 1 for increments of 1 mile per hour, all the way down or all the way up for increments of 5. So say for instance you were going 43 miles per hour and you wanted to go 40, just press down. So that kind of increment of 5. You can't go from 43 to 38 like that, and vice versa for up. So 43, now you're going 45, not 48, because it's not roughly 5, it's increments of 5. So as in like 40 to 45, for example, would work. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how the horn sounds. So back to the displays. So this is where you can see your service information, tire pressure. You have to warm the tires up to see that. Coolant temperature, engine oil level, so you can tell if it's getting too low. Drive assist, so attention assist, and also the forward collision monitoring system. So this tells you if you're getting too close to a car in front of you. Navigation, so you can actually control your navigation through the driver's display if you didn't want to go through the trouble of looking at the other side display. Very smart. Radio controls, media, so Bluetooth, USB. I'll walk through how to change the sources later. Phone, so again with Bluetooth, stuff like that. Controls off to the side, we got a heated steering wheel. You also get an indicator up here for when it's turned on or off. And then it's also tilt and telescoping. Vent controls. You can hide them away when you're done adjusting how open or closed they are. Ashtray. And down here we've got 12-volt power outlet. And this is where you can stick your key if the battery were to die and you still need to start your car. Cup holders. You can also detach the cup holders if you need to clean something. Suspension lift, as I've talked about earlier. So push to raise, the red light comes on, and you get a notification on the screen saying the suspension is lifting. And then press again to lower. Well, actually, while it's still raising, if you press this, it'll stop and stay where it is. You have to let it go all the way up if you want it to put it back down. Parking cameras. So just twist the dial to change your view. You can see a virtual view of the top of your vehicle. And that's a side view. So left side view, right side, and then middle. And then rear view. So now we're going to put the lift down. It says it's lowering. So this is to turn the command system on. Volume, press into mute. Then this button here puts the rear headrests down. Or actually puts them up. Yeah, puts them up and down. On previous generations it used to be air operated and it would fold them back, which I thought was pretty cool. Parking sensors, so Parktronic off. The AC controls. It's got its own menu. You can change the climate mode for both the driver and passenger. You can turn your air freshener on, as well as set the sensitivity or the intensity level. Ionization, air distribution, you can turn that up or down. Footwell temperature, and something cool is when you've reached the end of available menus, the knob will no longer turn in that direction. Energizing comfort, so it basically gives you music and also a seat massage function. Very cool. Dynamic select, so notifications, you can turn those off if you so desire. Engine data, so stuff like your battery, horsepower, torque, and engine oil temperature, since you don't have a gauge for that typically. Vehicle data, so you can see in this menu the drive mode you're in, air suspension, and then how much your foot is on the gas versus the brake. Assistance, so you can turn traction control off and you get a warning right above the headlight indicator. Traffic sign assist, so speed limits. And then this button here, so this menu here will allow you to basically drive the speed limit on cruise control. And you can also choose whether or not you want your speed limit displayed within the command system. So speed limit warning. So if you're exceeding the speed limit, you can have a visual and audible, visual, or no warning whatsoever. You can turn it off. You can also adjust your warning threshold. So as in like how much over the speed limit you need to be before the warning will go off. Camera and parking, so wavering tones, volume, pitch, early warning, and audio fade out during tones. You can also open the camera cover manually. Active brake assist. You can set the intensity. You can also turn it off if you so desire. Speed adjustment. Tension assist. You can also have it suggest rest areas. Lane changing assist. Active blind spot assist. So the red triangles will let you know if a vehicle is next to you, and you will get a warning tone if you put your turn signal on while the triangle is lit, and the triangle will start to flash in that instance. Fuel consumption. Light settings, so ambient lights. Got presets here. If you turn off multicolor, you can adjust your own color manually. It's not what I wanted to do. Alright, so brightness zones, you can adjust that manually if you so desire. Also, effects. Got welcome as well as climate. So when you adjust your climate controls, you will get either a red or blue indication of when you do so. It's only really visible at night or if you look at it closely. Daytime running lights. Locator lighting. Exterior light delay. And interior light delay. And finally, vehicle settings. So standby mode, you can turn that on and off whenever the engine's not running. Belt adjustment, acoustic locking, automatic mirror folding, automatic door lock, and easy entry and exit. So you can configure that to be your steering wheel and your seat, only your steering wheel, or fully off. And then in-vehicle operator's manual. So when you go in, you can search for whatever you want to look up. Like, say you didn't know how to use your infotainment system, you could figure out how to do so via the owner's manual built in. And a lot of other manufacturers have gone this route, so getting rid of the paper copy and just building it into the car. Alright, so back to the climate controls. So automatic zone button on both sides. Temperature up and down. Driver and passenger. Fan speed. So that's also, so the first three buttons are existent on both the driver and passenger sides. Recycle. Max defrost. And then the menu button, as I mentioned earlier, rear defrost, and then AC, which is also your rest mode if the car is turned off. So what the rest does is it allows you to run your AC for up to 10 minutes when the engine is off. So down here, I mentioned the top. Actually, you know what? We're not going to do that because I don't want to mess up the Windows sticker. Just a sec. All right, so top back down. But you pull up to put the top down and push down to put the top back in place. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick that back up. All right, so I'm gonna show you the back in just a second. But here's the power tailgate control from inside the car. Also resume and cancel. And then this is to set your distance between you and the car in front of you. And give you a listen to how this sounds. It's very touchy and sounds very throaty, as a V8 should. So to get into the back, you just have to pull that forward. The seat automatically slides forward, and you can comfortably and easily get into the back. Some storage. Rear ventilation. Then more storage and cup holders. I always love how Mercedes does their cup holders. And then, before I close this, back here, even more storage. You can also see inside the trunk. So that's part of the air net that I mentioned earlier. It's controlled with this button back here. All right, I'm gonna hop back out. And so I think that's gonna wrap it up. If you enjoyed, smash the thumbs up in the face, subscribe if you're new, turn on post notifications, do what you guys do best, and peace out until next time.